What's up YouTube, Anthony on Tech here, and thanks to iMovie for deleting my footage and forcing me to do this video all over again. Now, we did have the Google Pixel event today. It was the official announcement for the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. Just a quick couple of side notes. There was no Pixel Watch announced, obviously. No tablet because their tablets aren't that good, obviously. And no new Pixel headphones because their headphones are not that good either. And they're trying to push the Pixel Buds Series A, even though the Pixel Buds 2 were pretty bad. I thought they were good at first use, and then after continued use, they've been horrible, so I got rid of them. That didn't make any sense. They got horrible after some time. They just didn't work that well. They had a lot of issues, and I just got rid of them. So moving on, we do have some information about the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pro. I don't have any other phones because my channel isn't big enough to make a partnership with Google to get them, but there's a lot of videos on YouTube that has the phone in hand that you can look at, but those reviewers are not allowed to talk about certain things with this phone as of yet. So I just have some basic details of the two devices, what you're going to get with them, the pricing, all that other stuff in between. Let's get into it. So the first one I want to talk about is the size of the phones. You have the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pro. The Pixel 6 will come in a 6.4-inch display, so very similar to the Pixel 4 XL size, and it's going to have a 90 Hz refresh rate, whereas the 6 Pro will have a 6.7-inch display with a 120 refresh rate. For comparison, the iPhone 13 Pro Max is a 6.7-inch screen as well. The new phones are water and dust resistant. They're using some type of Gorilla Glass that they mentioned. Basically, to understand what they're doing with this new phone with the glass on the screen, it's like comparing it to the iPhone. They want to use much more durable glass to survive a lot longer for falls and scratches. But you should use a screen protector either way. If you don't use a screen protector on your phone, you're a psycho. But they are talking about using new glass, new material to make it much more stronger and durable, water and dust resistant. According to MKBHD, there is a part of the phone that does seem to attract more dust than other parts of the phone. I don't remember where exactly. I believe it was with the camera bump in the back. So just keep that in mind if you do plan on getting this phone. There is a fingerprint reader on the phone. They did include that back in the phone finally. What I don't like about it is they did put it on the screen and not on the back of the phone like the previous Pixel models, such as the 2 and the 3. I thought that was a great place for the phone. You're already holding your phone with your finger in the back anyway. And the best part for me when I had a Pixel 2 was if I try to go to my settings up here to change, I could just swipe back from the fingerprint reader, swipe down on it, and it'll bring it down. I think they should have gone with that option, but they went with the screen option. Either way, it's much better than doing the face unlock, because honestly, face unlock on the Pixels could be better, and everyone's wearing a mask these days anyway, so fingerprint unlock, great. Just like all the other major smartphone companies, no charger brick in the box. If I am getting a new Pixel, I have like 3 or 4 chargers anyway, so I'm all set for that. But if you don't, keep in mind that you won't get a charger brick in the box. And of course, USB Type-C is with this device. They made some major discussion about the system UI and the new Tensor chip. Basically, it's just being a much more stronger chip, much faster, better performance. I believe they said the phone has 12 gigabytes of RAM. I could be wrong, but I believe it was 12 gigabytes of RAM. And with the system UI, they made this whole thing about Android 12, where your icons will change color to match your wallpaper. As a way to have your phone reflect your personality, reflect your outfit. Very seamless change with the design of the front display. They talked about widgets, widgets being improved and better. YouTube music widgets, weather, calendar, etc. I personally don't use widgets, so I don't really care about that feature. But for the people who do, that is an option. They talk about some of the other things you can do with the phone. One being translation. You can have much more better language translation, whether it's to talk to someone in a different language or to translate messages that you see, or let's say you're in a different country and you see a street sign, you could translate. So much more seamless translation, as well as more NFC connectivity. They actually had a video of this woman with the phone, and she uses the phone to pay for her subway pass instead of using a Metro card. So that was pretty cool. more stuff about when you're booking a flight. It'll have your information ready to go, so it tells you when you're ready to leave, your flight plan, the gate you gotta check in, all that stuff to just pop in when you need it. So that's pretty good right there. Basically, trying to learn as you go. The chip is there to make your experience as simple as possible. They talked about a lot of security updates. They said Pixel phones will have security updates for about 5 years or 5 updates, something like I think it's for like 5 years. So typically an upgrade happens between 1 and 2 years. 1 year if you have the iPhone Forever plan, 2 years roughly if you have a financing plan, whether it's a 24-month or a 30-month term. But your phone will be updated with security updates for the next 5 years. So if you're someone who keeps your phone for like 5 years, you're covered for like that time frame. They did talk about the cameras. That's the real point to buy a Pixel, is the cameras. I believe there's 3 different lenses in the back. A 50 megapixel wide camera lens with night sight, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 48 megapixel telephoto camera with 4 times optical zoom. So you're gonna have one of the best camera taking experiences ever with this device. Now, when I mentioned about some reviewers not being allowed to show certain things, this is one of them. The reviewers, as far as I can see, are not yet allowed to talk about these camera capabilities as of yet. I think they want them to wait a bit more, at least another week. The phones do release next week, so I think they want to have that week to get that stuff ready. Moving on from that, they are doing something really cool called Real Tone, and basically the premise of it is they want the photos to really reflect the skin tone of different people. That, some phones and photos and cameras, they don't reflect the proper skin tone of a person, so they want to have that as a whole diversity inclusion thing. I really appreciate that as a minority myself. So you are going to get the some of the best, truest colors for your pictures when taking a photo of someone of a diverse range. So that's pretty cool that they have that included in these cameras. Moving on from there, along with the tensor chip capabilities, there is advanced for speech recognition. So if you're someone who likes to use talk to text, sometimes it can be hard to do that. Sometimes your phone won't understand what you're trying to say. So this one is supposed to be smarter and learn more about that. There was also a heavy emphasis on trying to mention people's names in your contacts when you're messaging them. Maybe their name is spelled differently than commonly. Maybe it's not a commonly pronounced name. And this time, Google will try to learn it from you. The example they showed was somebody talking about a Catherine whose name is with a K instead of a C. And Google was able to get that recommendation from him and remember, okay, it's Catherine with a K. This is something that Apple had for a while, though. If you use Siri and you try to contact someone with Siri and it mispronounces their name, you can tell Siri how to properly pronounce it, and she will remember that. This is something I've used with Siri back on the iPhone 5. So if this is the same type of idea, you're a bit too late with that, Google. But we have it for the new Pixels, and I'm sure, hopefully, it'll be included with the Android 12 update as well for previous phones. But it won't be implemented as successfully as the 6 models because of their new chip. Speaking of Android 12, yes, it will be available with the Pixel 6 at launch. It was supposed to be available for the other Pixel phones. If you don't know, Pixel is the first phones to get the Android updates, and so far, nothing. I think the only availability for that is on I don't know if it's a beta mode or some other phone has it, but it's weird that Pixels don't even have it yet. And the Pixel 4 still is it's not new, but it's not as old as the Pixel 3 and Pixel 2, so we should be seeing this update soon. With the advanced speech recognition, they also showed a feature where you can tell the phone a certain emoji you want to use, and it'll replace your speech with the emoji. So he said pizza emoji and ice cream emoji, and it put the pizza and the ice cream emoji. I'm not one who would really use that feature. I don't use emojis too often, but if you're someone who does, there you go. So that's most of the information. I am going to talk about the different models, the price, the sizes they come in, the prices, the colors. But I do want to talk a little bit more before that about all this information with the new chip. What some of the things you can do with it. Other than really, it's just a faster phone, a much more smarter phone, and a much more secured phone. They did try to emphasize that there is a lot more security built into this phone, so all of your files and passwords and information is safe. So they want you to think. So that's basically what they're talking about with that kind of stuff. They didn't mention the squeeze for assistant feature. All the Pixel phones from the 2 forward had them. If you don't know what I'm talking about, which you should, you just squeeze it and the assistant comes up. I don't know if they took it out. That was a great feature. I loved having that. Sometimes when you say the phrase, it just doesn't work. But when you have the squeeze feature, there you go. So they didn't show it, they didn't mention it. I don't think they have it in this model. That'll be crazy if it's not. So moving on to the final point, which is the storage size and the prices, and then I'm going to show you the colors on the screenshot that I have here. The 6 model will come in a 128GB and a 256GB model. The 128GB will start at $599 and the 256 will start at $699. The 6 Pro comes in a 128 at $899, a 256 at $999, and a 512GB at $1099. So for comparison, the 6 Pro is comparable to the iPhone 13 with the exception of the iPhone having up to 1 terabyte of storage, but the price range is a bit similar, but in some aspects the Pixel is cheaper than the iPhone. And with that, you kind of would rather go with the 6.7 inch model. I don't know the differences in the battery. I don't know if they mentioned it or not, but you have to imagine the 6.7 inch model does have a bigger battery, which therefore a longer battery life and better performance, plus the 120Hz refresh rate. I've seen people who went to a 120Hz refresh rate and they can't go back down lower than that. I've never experienced it myself, and I hope to soon. Be on the lookout for that video coming up soon. So you would rather want to go with the Pro model. And like I said, the standard 6 model is about the same size as the Pixel 4. It is mostly one-hand compatible with some discomfort trying to do everything in one hand, and the Pro being bigger. So with the colors, there are a few different color options. The 6 Pro does have a couple of ones different from the 6. But they both, I believe, come in the black model, which is called, let me pull it up here, Stormy Black. So they both come in Stormy Black. I didn't like what they did with the 2-tone color phones. So, for example, just to have a frame of reference, the Stormy Black model will be, instead of it being straight all black on the back, it's black on the bottom, camera bump, and then light gray on the top. The 6 Pro also comes in a cloudy white, so it'll be white on the bottom, camera bump, and then like a grayish white on top. And it comes in a sort of sunny, so it's like a kind of a creamy orange on top and a vanilla yellow on the bottom, and that's for the Pro. Also, as I'm looking on the website, the cloudy white model is already out of stock for the 6 Pro. That's funny. As for the standard 6, it comes in the Stormy Black as well, and then it has a kind of coral color, so it's kind of like another vanilla orange type of color on the bottom with a coral pink on top, and the sort of C form is kind of like a mint green on the bottom, and the top is like a light grass green. Those 3 seem to be in stock still as I'm checking the site right now, but for the 6 Pro, only the cloudy white is out of stock, which is kind of weird. There's also talks about how on the older models you do have a power button in a different color as the other ones, but for this new model it's all the same color buttons. So just basic changes that they make for their new designs. Of course, they talk about better experience with low light photo taking. Some cameras like my GoPro that I film with on YouTube is horrible in low light, and you're better off using your phone for certain low light situations. When I do my comedy shows, I film with my phone, or I try to film with my phone, because it is better with the low lighting of those shows. But that's pretty much everything I want to talk about. They did mention that there is a phone case compatible that is made with recycled material. All these companies are trying to go green, which is why you don't get a power brick. I don't really know if I recommend the phone case for the Pixel. if it's in the same design as all the previous ones, in which case the fabric case doesn't protect the bottom, and I've actually cracked my phone before from dropping it because the bottom wasn't protected and I had to get it repaired. But that being said, that's my video for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you thought about these specs for the phone, and I'll see you guys next time.